So, Star Trek Prodigy, Episode 9. Here's my review. Okay, yeah, so we're nearly at the season's end. This episode is called A Moral Star. This is a two-parter. Obviously, continuation is next week. Now, this episode continues where last episode left off. This young crew who have now sort of learnt to work together are discussing the events of the last episode and the fact that they were fractured in time when they accidentally set off the head of the diviner robot that has been made on board, and it beams a message out and it tells them basically bring back the protostar, we'll let you live, we'll release, or if you don't come back we're going to kill all the miners, this sort of thing. So the crew reluctantly decide, or Dal does eventually, everyone else wants to do it, to go back and try and rescue the remaining miners. Now, they formulate a plan. We don't know what this plan is. It's done as a montage sequence. So anyway, so they head back with the starship. They land it. The diviner comes out and keeps to his word in the sense that he won't kill everyone. He does that. He leaves them with the Rev 9, his ship, so it seems. But he wants Gwen as well, and Gwen decides to reluctantly go with him. So they take the protostar, with Gwen included, and head off. But on their way out, they destroy the generators of the Rev 9, which is keeping the gravity down and the oxygen within the mining camps. And without this, all the miners and everyone is they're basically doomed. But on board, Diviner learns that Gwen is hiding something, and they come to learn that the protostar actually isn't on board whatsoever, and the crew have got it with them, disguised as the round robot thing, whose name I can't remember for love nor money off the top of my head, and I'm not going to go and look at it. So yeah, so they get to it on the ground, using that to revive the Rev 9 so that no one dies, but we don't see this. This will be in the next episode. So that's basically the breakdown of the story. There's a lot of lovely character development within this episode, I will say. Gwen and Dal, especially, their relationship. And all the other characters come into play, because now they've started to act as a crew. They all don themselves out in Starfleet uniforms, a kind of which we haven't seen before, which is a black and grey colour. Although we have seen black and grey, haven't we? But there's no colour to them as such. No red, no golds, no blues, nothing like that. And that looks pretty good. So, a very good episode, very strong episode, I'll say. Leaves you wanting to see what comes next week. Now, the only issue I have with this show now, Star Trek and Star Wars as well, right? Especially in the latest Boba Fett series. They're taken from each other. It feels like Star Trek and Star Wars always felt separated, and they still do, obviously. But there's this small stuff going along, right? Because you can't tell me that the Diviner and his robot don't feel like a Sith Lord and the Emperor. They're modelled upon that, and they've got droids around them, much like the stormtroopers. Oh no, they're not droids, but there you go. Do you know what I mean? But so it's in a Star Wars sense like that. And then in Boba Fett, you've got these mods, which, all right, I know that in Star Wars you've seen people with modifications before, like on Cloud City, the fella with the thing around his ears and that, but now you've got people with arm attachments and bits, and it feels like they're sort of taken from the Borg and One Eye and this sort of a thing. So it feels like there's this sort of a cross-contamination of the two series going on in very, very minor sprinklings, but it's there. But I want Star Wars to feel like Star Wars. I want Star Trek to feel like Star Trek. And I can't, when one is reminding me of the other, you're stepping into territory that I'm not too comfortable with. From episode 1, I did say that the Diviner and that has felt like the Emperor and the Sith Lord. yeah, it's there, and this episode just goes to reiterate that and make it seem more so. But anyway, that's just grumblings on my part. Fantastic episode. Can't wait to see next week's, and then we're back into Discovery again. So this is AJ. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care all. Goodbye.